Hi, my name is Kevin Larrabee. You probably know me from the FitCast if you're checking out any of these videos. But I'm really bad at blog posting, and I haven't had a very good track record of finishing my writing because it's something I actually have to sit down, do, then edit, then find pictures for it, then find videos for it. So I thought it would be a lot easier to just do like a video blog type series and get some content out there that way instead. So uh, one thing I'm going to do, you'll kind of get a little insight on my life and my training and what I kind of do. The other big thing I'm going to bring is a lot of educational content when it comes to really all the aspects of training, fitness, and nutrition and rehab as best I can with these videos. I hope you guys get a lot out of this, and I think I'm going to get a lot out of it too because one of the things that kind of brought upon this was a talk that Dan John did a couple days ago at Mike Bowles Strength and Conditioning where I work, and he brought up a couple things. One of them being, getting results is a lot about your own integrity and about who you are, and that's one of the things I'm going to broach upon with these videos when I talk about my training and my nutrition, because we can always do a little bit better. I think everyone can do a little bit better. And as I kind of get into my, really my like 6 year kind of doing this, it's starting to kind of come together, and I'm starting to figure out what works best for me. And I hope I can get you some information that will help you figure out what's best for you because there's so many different ways to do things out there when it comes to training and nutrition. You can do full body workouts, you can do body part splits, you can do upper lower splits, you can do metabolic conditioning, you can do CrossFit, you can just do yoga, you can just do functional training, you can do training for a certain sport. There's so many different ways to train, and same thing when it comes to nutrition. There's people that are vegan, vegetarian, low carb, what's that? Like anabolic diet type stuff where it's really high fat, really high protein, like really low carb, like where you're going into a ketogenic type thing. Now there's the whole organic and raw and so many different things that you can do to kind of play with how you set things up for yourself. Where it is kind of an information overload, and even one of the things that I've done over the last 5, 6, 7 years is try a lot of this stuff and figure out what works best for me, and still trying to figure out what works best for me. And one of the things that I've always struggled with is the nutritional component, not necessarily knowing what to do, but sticking to it and trying to find a good balance with what works best with nutrition. Because again, there's so many different things you can do in terms of preset guidelines for nutrition and stuff like that. But I still haven't found what works best for me, and I think a lot of people out there, because there's still a huge rate of obesity that is growing and growing in the United States and in developed countries, and now we're seeing it in third world countries as we move forward. So yeah, by the way, this is my bedroom, so hopefully that's interesting, and always drinking some water. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about today, again, was kind of what this is going to be about. And I'm going to shoot a bunch of videos today, and I'm going to put them out throughout the week. So I'm going to get all the content done today, and hopefully I can just do all this stuff on Sundays. I'm also going to be shooting some videos in the gym, so I can show you some of my favorite things to do in the weight room. Another thing I'm going to talk about is the industry, because I am still pretty young. I'm 25 years old, but since doing the FitCast, I've kind of been in the industry since I was about 20. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've gotten to experience the goods and the bads of the industry. And I would like to talk about some of the things that could be better. One of the things, if you don't train people, you shouldn't be talking about training or nutrition. You shouldn't be talking about it. You shouldn't you shouldn't be giving people advice, acting as if you are a fitness professional. I think that's one of the biggest things that bugs all of us that do this, because we don't want to sound like cranky old men, But when it comes to someone who is just gone on to bodybuilding.com and read a bunch of articles and now is freely giving out advice, especially when people aren't really asking for it, they're just kind of giving it out. I think that can be dangerous, and I think that could be a problem in this industry. So that's one of the things to talk about. Not going to get into it too much right now. Another thing I want to talk about is kind of going more in depth on certain aspects of training and tell you why I train the way I do and how I figured out what works best for me for training, and how you can take that and figure out what works best for you. Because if you're one of those program jumpers, you find a new program, like a new ebook, and then you do that program for 2 months, and then something else comes out and you're like, oh, this looks way better, that works for me and that works for my lifestyle, I'm going to jump to that. So that's one of the big things. Also nutrition, kind of what I've done, starting with the basics of nutrition with supplementation, and maybe getting away from some of the scare tactics of what people are using to sell stuff these days. Telling people to not eat fruit is bullshit. Like, that is just blatant craziness, and it is very short-sighted when it comes to just throwing out blanket statements like that. And again, that's one of the parts that's really interesting about working in this industry. Another thing I'm going to talk about is kind of like some lifestyle type stuff, and how I've kind of adjusted things where I used to be all work all the time, and I still kind of am, but I've had to balance things out because I went a little crazy, and I wasn't sleeping, and I became a little bit more unhealthy just because not being able to sleep, and I kind of try to back things up with lots of caffeinated beverages, as if you know me, and trying again to find a healthy balance, because that really is the hard part of all this. It's just finding a balance and not trying to go towards too far towards one extreme, unless you are one of those people that are an extremist. Because again, that's one of those things that we will talk about. It will, finding out what works best for you. So that's going to be it for this introduction. I'm going to have another video for you tomorrow where I'm going to be talking about what I'm doing for training right now, why, and also how you can kind of figure out what's going to work best for you when it comes to your own programming.